You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, it looks like Breanna Stewart is coming out and saying that maybe some things have been addressed when it comes to the WNBA CBA. They still got issues that they're a part on, but some progress has been made in just the last few days. And so this is pretty interesting. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. And let's take a look at this. Interesting. WNBA and players make CBA progress as Breanna Stewart opens up on process that has taken way longer than needed. Boy, that a little truth. Some actual truth out of one of these players. This is getting a little bit more interesting. We also learn about whether or not there is a current, what they call drop-dead date, meaning the season won't start on time, yada, yada, yada. The Executive Committee for the Women's National Basketball Players Association held a call Sunday to discuss the WNBA's latest collective bargaining agreement proposal, which arrived on Friday. The Executive Committee wanted to, quote, really understand everyone's point of view and, quote, get on the same page about what we're asking for. Get on the same page? My understanding, everybody was on the same page, right? Oh, that's right. We found out that there was a fracture the other day, and then they tried to clean up that mess. Yeah. The WNBPA Vice President Breanna Stewart told CBS Sports in an exclusive interview Monday, the WNBA's proposal, the league's first response to the players' latest offer, which came more than 6 weeks ago, quote, didn't move much money-wise. So there wasn't a lot of money increase. There wasn't. It was like they went from a $5 million salary cap, I believe, to 5.65, something like that. Breanna Stewart said, quote, there were some minimum standard requirements that did come into play, and that was important, Stewart added, because that means the league heard us on some things that matter to us. Okay, so it looks like there may be some concessions happening here. Notably, the league's latest proposal offered concessions, there we go, on player housing and facility standards. So, okay, the owners have moved here. First-year players and players on minimum salary would be provided a one-bedroom apartment for the first 3 years of the CBA, while developmental players would be provided a studio apartment. A source familiar with negotiations confirmed to CBS Sports. Those players would receive a stipend plus money for each game appearance, but would be limited to a certain amount of appearances. The WNBA has provided housing for players since '99. In the most recent CBA, they were required to offer players a one-bedroom apartment or a stipend for high housing cost. Key stakeholders from the WNBPA and WNBA, including multiple owners, met in person February 2nd for the first time since October. Okay, we know about that. Let's go further down. As Breanna Stewart noted, however, the league's response did not address the gap between the sides on revenue sharing. The WNBA's proposal in early December would raise the cap to $5 million and max salary to be about $1.3 million in the first year of the new deal. A source close to the situation told CBS Sports that over the course of the proposed deal, the max salary would raise to almost $2 million. We know that, and that multiple players on each team would be eligible for the max salary. The minimum salary in the deal would start at $230,000 and the average salary at $530,000. All of the above salary figures included a base salary plus a revenue sharing component that includes both team and league revenue, something players have been asking for. The source estimates this deal would result in players getting about 70% of net revenue. That is the revenue remaining when the league specified operating expenses are removed from the pot. See, the players are wanting gross revenue. All right, they're wanting a salary cap at $10.5 million with a max salary around $2.5 million. I don't think that's going to happen. Here we go. With just over 2 months until training camp are supposed to open, the two sides not only have to come to terms with a new CBA, but hold a double expansion draft and conduct the busiest free agency in league history. Quote, time is of the essence, Breanna Stewart said. Stewart added she does not know if there's a drop-dead date, at which point the league will no longer be able to start the season on time if there's no CBA in place. Quote, I think that both sides are very aware that it has gone on way longer than it needed to, but hopefully we can really start to be hearing each other and they hear us on things that are non-negotiable. Well, this all comes back to what? Revenue sharing. I mean, that's really what this is all about. They've offered the money. Now they've got the housing, all right? There's a bunch of little other points, and we all saw that outline. They're going to have to back off of the revenue sharing, which is the one thing they don't seem to want to back off on. And we know now, so many fans, hey, now that we know, now that we've seen the gargantuan salary bump for players in a league where the league's never turned a profit, well, now it's become a public relations issue between the players and the fans because the fans can see what is on the table now. And we know, I said the other day, there's no way the NBA/WNBA owners didn't leak all that information the other day to ESPN. They did that on purpose. The league wants the fans to know what is on the table, what they have decided to offer. This is interesting. It sounds like they've made some progress, but if these players don't get a handle on this revenue sharing issue that they seem to be stuck on, well, I mean, is there going to be a season? I can tell you this, I'm sure the WNBA absolutely knows a drop dead date. They just haven't went public with it. They haven't put it out there. And you got to remember, there are rumors. It's kind of interesting. She mentioned a Sunday meeting amongst all the players. You got to remember, there's rumors floating around out there that these players could strike during the All-Star game or before the All-Star game. I'm talking about in the NBA this coming weekend. Man, these players, that's not going to go how you think it's going to go in the eyes of the public at all. It would be a gargantuan mistake. I see the comments. People are already saying, F it, shut it down. You know? Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.